In this analysis, we'll compare data from Tally and the GST Portal to identify mismatches, matched records, and the overall status of GST filing. This helps ensure smoother GST filing and provides a clearer view of overall financial records. Let's get started. First, understanding the data. We have two data sets: Tally data, GST Portal data. Our goal is to consolidate both and analyze them based on the state GST values using GST numbers for matching. Next, data consolidation using let function and MAKEARRAY functions. We begin by creating a new sheet named Consol Data. We'll apply Excel's advanced LET function. This formula merges data from two sources, GST Portal and Tally, into a single table using LET for better structure and readability. Start with equals let and define GST data as the select range of the GST Portal data sheet and Tally data as the select range of the Tally data sheet. Then create a GST flag using MAKEARRAY to repeat the label GST Portal for each row of the GST data. Similarly, define Tally flag using MAKEARRAY to repeat Tally for each row of the Tally data. Use HStack to horizontally combine the flags with their respective data blocks as GST block and Tally block. Create a header by combining a new column title, Source, with the original headers from the GST sheet using HStack. Finally, combine the header, GST block, and Tally block using VStack to produce the complete merged dataset. The result is a consolidated dataset that clearly shows the source of each record. The total number of raw records is 7,082. From that, GST Portal entries amount to 3,271, and Tally entries are 3,811, giving us a clear consolidated overview of the data from both sources. Now that we've completed the consolidation process, formatting consolidated data format headers, and apply color coding. Adjust column widths and remove grid lines for a cleaner look. Apply date format to the bill date column to ensure consistency and readability. Next, creating the pivot table for comparison. Now let's create a pivot table. Insert a pivot from the Consol Data. Place GST number in rows. Place source flag in columns. Use SGST amount in values. Now we can compare the amounts from both sources side by side. Calculating variance inside the pivot table. To identify discrepancies, click inside the pivot table header. Go to Pivot Table Analyze, Fields, Items and Sets. Add a calculated item inside the pivot. Note: calculated items only work when your cursor is in the pivot header, not inside the data cells. Label it as Variance. Use this formula for variance. Equals round Tally 0 minus round GST, Portal 0. After adding the variance column, right-click Sort by largest to smallest. Format the pivot table, decrease the decimal values, and adjust the column widths. to see major differences first. Next, Final Gap Analysis Sheet. Add a new sheet, give the tab a distinct color, such as orange, and name it Tally versus GST Gap Analysis. Reduce zoom level to 80% for a better working view. Turn off grid lines for a cleaner layout. Copy your main table and use Paste Special. Values and formats. Update header as GST number. Format the data as a table. Select your data range and use Home, Format as Table. Choose a style that blends well with your color theme. Next, add a status column. Use an if formula to identify issues. Type =if. Then, select GST Portal cell is equal to double quotes, empty, then return not updated in GST Portal. If not, use another IF to select cell as Tally, empty, then return not updated in Tally. If not, use another IF to check if variance is greater than 0, then return mismatch in GST Portal. Same. Use another IF to check if variance is less than 0, then return mismatch in Tally. If none of these conditions are true, return matched. Close all brackets and press Enter. Next, validate GST number length to flag incorrect GST numbers, not 15 characters long. Type =if, then use the len function to check the length of the GST number cell. If the length is not equal to 15, return GST number wrong. Close the if function and press Enter. Now it will show the incorrect GST numbers in the status column. Next, add a slicer. Go to Insert, Slicer, and choose the status column. Format your slicer. Display 3 columns. Resize for a clean fit. Add a title Tally versus GST Portal Variance Gap Analysis for SGST. Format the text with bold style and matching color. Test the slicer by selecting any status button. This will instantly filter the table below to display only the relevant GST entries based on the selected status. Next, create a pivot table summary. Create a pivot table from your main table into the same sheet. Use Status in Rows, Tally, GST Portal, and Variance in Values and GST Number as Count. Format Pivot Table. Apply conditional formatting for negative values in red. Copy the pivot table summary. First, the row labels. Second, the variance column. Then, link the values using equals from the pivot table. Format the table. Insert a recommended chart, waterfall chart. Title it, Tally versus GST Portal Gap Analysis, Final Adjustments, Move Chart and Pivot Table to proper positions. Resize elements for optimal view. Format the table. Testing the report. Use the slicer to filter by Matched Mismatch in GST Portal, Mismatch in Tally Not Updated. Verify results dynamically update. This Excel report provides a clear visual and analytical comparison between Tally and GST Portal data. Use it for accurate compliance tracking and actionable insights. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more tutorials.